Your trauma has been a blessing and a curse. So my story is I grew up in I wouldn't say messed up familyhood, but there was definitely times and place where I was scared. I was so unbelievably scared of not knowing what's going to happen. Is my family going to break up, or am I going to have to provide for my family? I didn't know what was going to happen, and it scared me. And this video is about what it caused. Trauma makes a man strong, I think, because it realizes if you had an easy life, there is no friction. There is no reason to grow and to become a stronger person. If I had an easy life, there would be no need for me to mature so quickly and realize if I didn't have the trauma in my life, there would be no reason for me to become the man that I am. I would be like all these kids around me that had an easy life, and I'd be just like them. In my eyes, they're pathetic because I know the trials and tribulations I went through built me and made me strong. But it also caused so much pain in my life that I've had to fix. And one of it is breathing. This whole idea of if you are breathing right, you are loud and vibrant with it. You are having bellows that go all the way down to your stomach, to your balls, and up through your chest. Loud roars of breath. Like that. Loud breaths. And through trauma, if you lived in a household where maybe your father was a little violent or things were going on, you didn't want to exist. ADHD is very relevant in households with trauma because it is a way to get caught up in your head and pull yourself physically out of this traumatic experience. Now, do I have ADHD? I don't know. Maybe. But something I did to cope with the trauma was to try to disappear. I didn't want to be loud with my breaths. And something breath heals is trauma. If you can sit down and meditate and be calm and actually take up the room with your breath, it's so healthy for you. But even now, sometimes I'll sit with my father and he gets pissed off that I'm breathing, and I can tell that he notices it because it's a masculine thing to take up the room. And when we're small children and trauma's going on, we don't want to be known at all. So we have shallow breaths. And that doesn't help with our anxiety because we already know that, oh shit, our family might fall apart or our dad might beat us or something like that. So we take little breaths out of our, mouth instead of deep gallows. So that's something I found really interesting with the healing process of trauma and just taking a deeper look into my life. And yes, trauma can cause a whole bunch of things and really destroy a person if they're not strong enough to improve and grow and actually see what it was and what caused it. Because if you realize the actual things your parents went through and how they coped with it and how they dealt with you is a very interesting thing as you grow older. But I wouldn't be here today if I didn't have a sense of trauma in my life. Because if I had, I can imagine, if everything was perfect in life, maybe I would be the same person that I am today, but I don't know. Because at the same time, with the stressful moments in my life where I don't think I've told this story, but there's times my father's left and I've thought, how am I going to provide for my mother if she can't work, if she can't provide for the family, and I'm 10 years old? I'm fucking nervous. I have to mature up really quick. So that's why I've never related to these younger people and why I've always been so mature, because I've had this sense of this is real life, and real life's dirty, nasty, and scary. And I've worked so unbelievably hard because I've been beat up, because I've had this sense of I need to improve through my trauma. So if you have trauma and your idea to combat with it is to get regretful and say, oh, this is that, and I hate my father so much, or my mother, or this is what caused it. Don't say that. Because you build this idea in your head as, oh, I have no good memories of my father because he was a fucking asshole. And then you talk to your father about it and he's like, Max, you're a fucking idiot, bro. Dude, and what about all those times that we've hung out and all the things I did for you? And you think, oh, right, I've built this mental wall of this trauma in front of me and have resided on only the bad moments instead of all the things that is done for me, and let's say all the things my father has done for me. So with this trauma in your life, is embrace it, involve, and see what it was for. Because if you had an easy life, you wouldn't have been picking your feet up so fucking hard and working so hard. Because you've had these trials and friction in life that has caused you to become the man that you are today. Why have you worked out so fucking hard? Because you have been traumatized by people bullying you. I was so fucking shameful to be that little 135-pound child. And I had trauma of being bullied and looking in the mirror and seeing a scrawny little kid. But I used that pain, that trauma from that moment to become the man who I am. 175 pounds, I would have never have believed it. And I look fucking amazing. So understand the trauma that you went through made you who you are today. And if you have to cope with it in certain ways, understand it and meditate. And realize the man you must become. Go out there and have a good one.